Let's talk about Channel Engine, how it was founded, when, and what does it exactly do?
As said, a short, let's say, inside sneak peek of Channel Engine here.
What do you see are the challenges that brands and sellers face today when they want to expand?
Google, Instagram, Facebook, right? They're also changing their models into an e-commerce or marketplace model.
Yes.
And we make sure that all these channels adapt to your business and connect, automate, so you can grow. Help me automate my business, so optimize my operations, so I can focus on optimization and growth.
Welcome to Power Your E-commerce Business, the go-to series for busy entrepreneurs like you. Product research, sales, marketing, branding, shipping and logistics. We share knowledge and information every week from top experts serving the MENA region to help you power your e-commerce business. Global e-commerce sales are expected to reach $4.89 trillion in 2021. And of course, the number is expected to grow exponentially over the next coming few years. Now, you might be wondering, how can I sell or even sell more on international marketplaces and make the most out of this opportunity? In this episode of Power Your E-commerce Business, we're featuring Channel Engine. And I'm very happy to say that Amazon Sellers Society is brand partnered with Channel Engine in the Middle East. So we're going to be talking about in this episode why it's so important and vital to be selling on marketplaces internationally, and how you can integrate your own products on multiple marketplaces almost seamlessly. Now, Channel Engine, just as a little bit of a background, is trusted by the world's biggest brands such as JBL, Polaroid, Brabantia, and Staples, just to name a few, and is fully integrated with the world's biggest and best marketplaces, of course, including Amazon. So let's meet with Niles Floors, who is the sales and partnership, who's the head of sales and partnership at Channel Engine, to learn a little bit more about selling on e-commerce marketplaces and why it's such a lucrative opportunity for you to start doing it right now. Let's go.
Niles, why is it so important for people to start selling on marketplaces and rather than focus just solely on their own e-commerce platform?
Yeah, thanks, Crystal. Yeah, I mean, you said it correctly. I mean, it's a combination of the two, right? It's not the one or the other. I mean, they're all sales channels to get in touch with the consumer eventually. The only thing that's happening is the entire journey is changing. So in the past, we had traditional retail. Well, we know the shift is taking place from retail to e-commerce. So at the moment, if you look at global numbers, it's about 18.5% on globally. And within a few years, we'll see that going to about, 25%, I think. And those numbers are just going to be kicking even harder. I mean, especially when you've seen this COVID situation of the past years. The next thing that you're seeing is that on e-commerce, the shift is taking place from normal e-commerce platforms, so your own web shop, to marketplaces. And those numbers are actually, well, I wouldn't say frightening because I like them, but it's a positive thing that you're seeing that about 65% of all global e-commerce is taking place on marketplaces. So not only anymore on your own web shops, they are pulling all of that traffic to themselves and getting your product sold there. So it's just a change in mindset. And again, we already looked at some expectations of some really big thought leaders out there, and they see that about 75% of all e-commerce will be on marketplaces in 2023. I actually think it's going to be even higher because there's let's say a few really interesting trends coming up here, like big e-commerce platforms that are turning into a marketplace. Amazon was once a e-commerce platform, right?
True.
They only had their own stock. They only had vendor model.
Yeah.
And now 60% of it, or more than 60% of it, is on the seller model. So, and others are doing the same thing, right? They're seeing that, hey, what Amazon is doing, I can do it as well. So those big platforms are also changing their models. Besides those, and I think this is going to be push it even harder, big click channels like Google, Instagram, Facebook, right? They're also changing their models into an e-commerce or a marketplace model.
Yes,
And
100%.
that is going to be a very interesting one. Because if we're going to see those platforms, instead of creating clicks to your own web shop, but taking the transaction right away to the consumer, how are you going to get your traffic to your own web shop? That's the question here. And so you need to be where your client is. And that's where the customer journey starts. And that's on all of these channels that have that marketplace model set up.
So it's inevitable. You have to be exactly what you just said. You have to be where your customers are. Now, I know we're going to speak a little bit more about Channel Engine. I know you've helped hundreds of brands, and some of them are like, maybe some of them aren't very well known for people living in the Middle East, but international brands be able to sell cross-border on multiple international marketplaces. So what do you think are the challenges, or what do you see, because you have a first class ticket, what do you see are the challenges that brands and sellers face today when they want to expand? Because it might seem like, yeah, sure, I'll just register on Amazon and different marketplaces and I'll just sell. But what are the challenges in your opinion?
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people think. Yeah, so just let's go and let's get a seller account set up, and then we'll start selling there. And let's say some of the entrepreneurs out there, they are quick with handling things and really just go with the flow and just start trying. But as maybe some of the bigger sellers, bigger brands, they can't just make that decision. They need to, let's say, do the due diligence, let's say, research before they go into a new market, right? And there are a lot of challenges, and I think there's, let's say, two things that we have to look at here. One is challenges of selling cross-border in general, and then the second one is challenges on selling on marketplaces cross-border. So there's two different things here, and I'll take two of them one at a time.
Yes.
First one, challenges is going cross-border. I've said it sounds really easy, and a lot of times you will get there. So it's don't get scared off here, because there's a huge opportunity cross-border, of course. First one is really deciding what products are you going to sell, what's your right product offering in that region, right? So which brands are going to work in the region? Does it fit with the market that you have? Can I also compete with my pricing in a different region with all the costs that I need to include in my selling prices? And with that, I advise you start with a limited selection, start trying, and then seeing what works. Also trying in let's say, in different kind of categories, seeing if you win in a certain category, and then maybe you're not that good in another category, then double down on the good one. Coming to that, as I said, pricing, that's an essential one. Make sure your pricing is set up correctly. So make sure you have your duties, taxes, shipping fees, storage fees. All of that is taken into account when you're going cross-border. And if you've taken all of that into account, look into your competitors on the marketplace, if you can keep on competing on the marketplace. Because if you're way outpriced, you're not going to sell anything, and then you're going to invest a lot without really making that. As well as, of course, currency conversion. You have to take that into account, make sure that that's all correct. Then I think one of the most important things, and it looks very easy because you think, okay, let's translate it, and you're there, content. Every marketplace asks for a different kind of content, and every marketplace needs a translated content as well for the local country. But an important one here is also localization of your content, right? It's not only translating things, because maybe if a lot of you know football and soccer, they're the same things, but in different countries. You have sneakers and trainers, for example, as shoes, right? And there's many more examples like this that you're going to just miss the ball if you don't really know what you're doing. Then payment, make sure that you can have the different payment types. Every marketplace has different payments. Some use with PSP, so a payment service providers
Mhm.
you can use for that. Um, Local legislation and compliance. So are you allowed to sell your product there? A lot of things have with a lot of countries, they're stricter than, or some countries are stricter than others
Yeah.
with legislations.
Some have particular labeling laws, so you might need to check that out as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and some things like some food products you're not allowed to sell in certain products in certain countries. Let's say, yeah, there's a lot of things that you need
Yes.
to take into account and make sure you comply with the local rules there. But as well as compliance, there's some strange things here with, okay, mattress sizes. They're different in different regions again.
Yeah.
Plugs. Every region has different kind of plugs. Well,
100%.
European plugs, UK
Yes.
plugs, US
Yes.
plugs. So you can't just sell every electronic everywhere in the world without checking if the plugs are correct. And voltages, another one in electronics, as well as sizes in general, right? And if you go to US, they have they have triple XL sizes of products. In Europe, we only have XL. That's the max that we go. So
Yeah.
and the size tables of in fashion are way different in all of those regions. So that's one. And then last two here for going cross border are shipping and fulfillment, but making sure that you can get your products there. And one of the real important ones, and that's some people forget it, but a lot of marketplaces, they do really say, okay, this is a must. Customer service.
Oh.
Making sure you have your local customer service set up. There are tools out there that can really help you a lot. They can help with translation, ticketing systems, and make sure you can automate a lot with AI. But some marketplace even ask you to have a call center ready with the native speakers for a certain country. Without that, you're not allowed to go on the marketplace, or you get a lower seller performance for that as well. And Crystal,
Yeah.
lower seller performance. It's going to be lower listings, less sales, and you're gonna have to deep dive lower with your prices to win the buy boxes there. So it's also going to cost you margin in the long run. So there is that's just a list of things that we know. I mean, we can deep dive in these separate topics even more, but this is just let's say a whole overview of the main things taking into account when going cross border into new regions.
But the great thing about challenges for me is that you can overcome them, because there's so many services, so many people that have already figured out how to solve these issues. You just need to know that they exist as a brand or as a seller that's looking to do all of that. Now, with that being said, what I want to know is, I want everyone to know, because I already know, what exactly is Channel Engine and how can you solve these main, or let's start off actually with the story about how Channel Engine was founded and what particular. My favorite thing is when you create a company or a service or anything, when you find that there's a problem and you set out to solve this problem. So in my opinion, that's what I would say Channel Engine is. But let's talk about Channel Engine, how it was founded, when, and what does it exactly do?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so Channel Engine was founded, let's say about 8-9 years ago. That our CEO Jorrit Steins, he had a lot of e-commerce web shops. He had a big warehouse with products, and he was selling a lot on his own web shops. But then he saw a marketplace coming up, and he was also connecting his own systems to all of these marketplaces around the world. But it was all one-on-one connections. He needed a huge development team to make sure that they all stayed up and running to fully automate. And that's where he saw that, okay, I can even help others with this, because then he had his own internet company. He helped other web shops in the country also integrate with these marketplaces one-on-one. So it was all custom integrations. So he saw that there was a few challenges here, right? That's where we really came from. So integration issues, getting your content on these different channels in the right format, getting your assortment and collection live quickly, because that was one of the, it all took time. And if it takes too much time, you miss the ball, and then you can just start with your new collection right away. It was a lot of manual work as well being done at that time still. So getting orders synchronized, getting let's say getting your prices differentiated on the different channels. So all these things were all manual work, but also getting the right products online. So being able to really let's say just say, okay, I want these products in this marketplace, but I don't want certain products on another marketplace because I'll lose money there. Yield management, of course, making sure that you have financial control over all these channels as well, because it's not that they're all the same. They're all different, and they all need a different kind of control on financial part as well, to make sure that, well, your CFO within your own company is also happy with you with opening all these channels, and making sure that your stock and prices and orders are always synchronized and automated over all these channels. So, and with all these things, that's where we start. Okay, this is not happening. This is not a scalable model to really go make one-on-one connections. Needing to have a whole development team that's only focused on, let's say, keeping these connections up and running and making sure that I can make these changes. But I need to get back to my development team every time I want to make a change. And well, that's not how developers work, right? They work in a certain process. They need time to work on the development part. So that's where actually Channel Engine was born. So we saw all this ask from the market for, okay, help me automate my business, so optimize my operations, so I can focus on optimization and growth. And I want to stay ahead of my competition. So with that, I want to make quick decisions and be able to change quickly whenever I would need to, but more from a business perspective and not always from a technical perspective. So that's why my business needs to make decisions and needs to apply those changes directly into marketplace. And that's where Channel Engine came in. So we started developing Channel Engine, really to build a scalable platform that you connect your backend systems once to Channel Engine. Once you've done that, the development team has done that and made sure it's all working, up and running, then you can activate any channel, any of the 200 channels that we have pre-integrated with just configuration. So a e-commerce manager or someone in your operations can just activate those channels without any more support from development. And we make sure we do have a big development team already here, of course. We make sure everything keeps up and running and keep on adding new channels in every region that we know that you're going to sell on. So that's also some due diligence that we do upfront with looking at, okay, what are the top channels in the region, and start building, connecting those channels, making sure that everybody that has Channel Engine can just use unlimited number of channels, of course, unlimited number of orders. They can set up the price rules in Channel Engine. We also have dynamic reprices, so we can see what your competition is doing on those marketplaces, on Amazon, for example. But also a full range of features like content translation, but also the currency conversion, of course, for if you're going international. So all those things that you really automate. So we make sure you connect to marketplace, you fully automate your operations so that you can keep on working within the same processes that you know your business is running on with your normal e-commerce business. And we make sure that all these channels adopt to your business and connect, automate, so you can grow and make sure you can scale on global basis, and make sure that you can focus on all these cross-border challenges that are on the back end of your operations.
100%. Now, I know for anyone who wants to, learn a little bit more about Channel Engine, I will leave the website channelengine.com top link in the description box of the video. I know if people want to, learn a little bit more, they can request a free demo to figure out, to see exactly how Channel Engine works. But I know we discussed that you're going to give us a sneak peek so everyone who's watching this video can have a better understanding and idea about, because I'm in love with the Channel Engine dashboard. I think it's just absolutely amazing. So let's get started. Let's do a quick screen share and get a sneak peek into Channel Engine.
Yeah, normally we don't do it. So normally we always have a demo with one of our account executives within Channel Engine. We do have a local team, of course, in Dubai set up now. So they're there. They can help you for a deep dive session. But yeah, let's go. I'll show you a quick screen share of Channel Engine so that you guys can just have a view of how user friendly it looks to help your business grow on a global scale. As said, a short, let's say, inside sneak peek of Channel Engine here. So this is the Channel Engine dashboard, and actually it shows directly with you what we do. So on this side, we connect into your backend systems. So we make sure that we take in all your product information that you have, all your stock levels, all your price information, and bring it all into Channel Engine so that you have one single point of truth here. In this case, well, we almost have 9,000 products in Channel Engine. With that, we can then choose in Channel Engine with which products you want sold on which marketplaces. So as you see here, you can just activate any marketplace that we support just by going to the add button, and then you get into our entire channel marketplace. So as I said, there's over 200 channels here. You can just, once you have an account set up, you can add it, and then you'll see it in your dashboard, and then we can start setting it up here. We make sure that all content is sent to these marketplaces in the right format. Stock is always updated, and your price is always updated over all these channels as well. But as you see here, we have all the Amazon channels. We have Noon here as well. We have Amazon.ae here as well, Amazon.com. So they're all live already. Then the entirely nice, or that's the, of course, essential part is automation. Once there's any order placed on any of these channels, they all come into Channel Engine. Then we synchronize them with your existing system. So they'll come in as if it was just a normal e-commerce order. You fulfill the order just like you're used to and your team's used to. We pick it, and then we pick up the shipment information back to Channel Engine and then bring it back to the marketplace and synchronize it to the marketplace. So these are all automated flows. So you don't have to go into any backends of the system anymore. You can just work with Channel Engine, and we make sure the synchronization is done between your existing systems and Channel Engine. The nice thing on this side, we can connect directly to your warehouse management system, to your ERP system, to product information management system. We also have pre-built plugins. So let's say for Magento 2, for Shopify, for WooCommerce, all of the big players out there, BigCommerce, we all have standard plugins built so that you can even use it as a plug and play solution. As I said, once that's done, you can unleash any Channel Engine, any channel that we support in Channel Engine. And then we make sure that the adoptions takes place there. So that's just a short sneak peek about Channel Engine. And then once you're live, that's the nice thing here. We have full insights in what are you selling, right? You want to have your financial control here. So what are you selling compared to the month before? Some key figures here, order statuses, top performing products, brands, marketplaces, categories, countries. So with this, your business can make the right decisions. With what are you selling, which channels, with data, insights. A nice thing here, we also have a Channel Engine app. So if you're on the go, you can always see what's going on and what are you selling. And of course, seeing all the live orders going through as well. So we also have an order management system in Channel to show you where the order's coming from, what's the status of these orders.
It's amazing. Like imagine having to or selling on all of these marketplaces and having to go into each and every one of those marketplaces and make all of the decisions that you can make from one dashboard and not it being automated. So it's just absolutely amazing.
It is. And of course it does take some time to set up, but luckily our team guides you through the entire process together with our partners because in general, every channel, and that's just, I'll show you here, as you see on the top, it's following the steps from left to right. And then once you come to the activation screen, we activate the channel and then you'll unleash all of your orders and then we'll make sure that everything's always synchronized with those channels. So where in the past you needed a team to manage all the every channel. Now, in general, you can do it with one person or again, of course, if you're growing on marketplace globally, I would grow your team as well.
Yeah.
Or work with a real essential local partner, well, like yourself. It's always our advice, because I mean, you need the knowledge. We would advise always have someone in-house that has knowledge about marketplaces, because it is, let's say, still with as much automation as we've built, there are still, let's say, some challenges or some things that you really need knowledge to go online quicker, the right way, and that you can grow your revenue quicker as well. So it's an investment on the front end, but it's going to pay out in the long run. So make sure that you really make that decision for yourself when you're going to marketplaces.
So Niles, both you and me are completely in love with e-commerce and marketplaces in particular. But I'd like to hear your thoughts about what you think, or why you think should somebody, a brand, a current retail brand, I'm imagining, should they look into selling cross-border, and why it's so essential? We know the numbers, we know it's coming, but why do you think people need to really look into selling cross-border on multiple marketplaces and just expand their business?
I mean, I think the main thing is don't limit yourself to your own region. There is a huge potential out there. I mean, as I said earlier, right? But I mean, the borders, they're not closed anymore. You can easily go cross-border with your product, grow your brand on a global scale. I mean, that's the advantage of marketplaces. They give you a big reach. I mean, if you look at the big players, Amazon, eBay, right? You can go on all of those Amazons around the world, and then you get all of that reach with it. The only thing I do advise is really do your research upfront with all of the points I said. So make sure that you can sell into a region, make sure your product's ready for it, and make sure that's the important one. Choose the right channels that fit your product. The big players, they're not always the best for you. You also have local, let's say local heroes, as we call them, that you're going to grow your product better. You also have some closed marketplaces. Well, we can help you with some introductions there if needed. And the vertical specific marketplaces that you have around the world as well. Also do your investigation there, because you'll get your sales up quicker. And yeah, I think those are the main things that I see as the huge opportunity of and why you should really go to all of these marketplaces.
Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure that you leave me a comment down below and you press the thumbs up button so that we continue with our series and we make more and more videos featuring more and more fantastic companies that help power your e-commerce business. Thank you so much for Niles and all of the Channel Engine team. I'll see you in another video with more information. Bye.